welcome back to Gardening for Health and Wellbeing. So today I am going to harvest and preserve these chives. Here I have just cut a bunch of the chives and just pulling out any brown decaying leaves, anything that's going yellow, any little insects or bugs or anything that's on them, I'm just getting rid of. And then I cut the chives in half so that they will be easier to put into the basket. And then once I've harvested all of them, I will then proceed to wash them before chopping them up further to go into the dehydrator. Now, I haven't dehydrated chives before, but I have dehydrated onions and the shallot greens, and they did really well, so I'm hoping that these will also do really well. So here I'm just going to use the hose, making sure I put it on the spray, just wetting it all first before moving it all around to make sure any dirt, debris, rocks, any more bugs, if anything comes to my sight, I will get rid of it. And then just continue turning it over so that everything gets washed. So once that is done, I will then proceed to swing it around and around so that the water comes off. And I do that like maybe 5 times just to get all the excess water off before putting it into the dehydrator, so the dehydrator doesn't have to work as hard. I did that part off camera as I do have sore shoulders, so I just did it very awkwardly, and I didn't need that on camera. So here I've got the washed chives, and I'm just going to cut them up smaller. I am using the pruners as I didn't want to go upstairs to use the cutting board and a knife and everything, so I'll just make sure I clean everything up and whatnot to get it all prepared. I then put the dehydrator on, and I think it was for 55 degrees Celsius, and I did it for 6 hours, and I will check it after the 6 hours. If I feel that it needs to go on longer to be more dry, I will add more time, and I will go from there. In another video, probably in a couple of days or so, you'll probably see me blending it up. I may do that as a short, as it won't take very long to do, and I might do the same with the next herb that I will be harvesting, which is sage. But I'm going to use a different dehydrating method because I've only got this one dehydrator, and I wanted to harvest and cut and harvest both of these herbs today because I don't have that much time, and so I end up using my hanging dehydrator, so it's going to dry naturally, and we'll see and compare the two, I guess. Even though they are different herbs, we can still do a little bit of a comparison to see which one works better. Obviously one will be using power, and if at a time we won't be able to use power because, I don't know, lightning has struck the power station or something and all the power in our area has gone out, or there's been an earthquake, or any number of reasons really, we have another way of preserving through dehydration from a hanging basket. So I ended up with 4 trays. That's why I was holding up the 4 fingers there, of the chives. I didn't do them too thickly, as I did want them to dry relatively quick. But we'll see if I needed to do the 6 hours or not when I do the short. So I'm back out in the garden now after putting that on to preserve in the dehydrator, and as I said, I'm going to harvest all of the sage. So I will put them into the basket, which is situated off camera. I then wash it, and then I do the drying method of swinging it around once I have washed all the leaves and everything. And then I sit down and I do harvest each leaf and making sure I don't pick any leaves that are very badly damaged by insects, or have spider webs or dirt, too much dirt still on them or anything like that, and they don't look that appealing. I leave them bits aside, and I only harvest the good leaves. I then will wash those leaves in the same method I did with the chives, which is just under the hose. I don't see the point going up into the kitchen to use the tap up there. Still water. And then once that's all washed, I will then use that centrifugal motion again with my arms to swing the basket and release all the moisture from those washed leaves. I will then place them into the hanging netted air dryer, which I got off of Temu, I think it was, and I think I got it for like less than $5. It was actually a pretty good deal. I did get it at the same time. I got a few other bits and pieces so that the postage and handling wasn't more than what I was actually paying for the product. Yeah, but all in all, this was a good day harvesting the herbs. I did find the herbs when I was harvesting all the leaves was very, very sticky. I'm not sure why that is, but there might be a purpose. I might have to do a bit of research behind that. Maybe it's some sort of a defense mechanism or something. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, please put it into the comments. I would love to know. So here you can see me just picking off all the good leaves. The wind was threatening to blow all the leaves off of this tray, so I did situate myself a little bit to where the wind couldn't get at it as easy, but it still was a bit nerve-wracking. But I wanted to stay outside. So yeah, this took about an hour or so just to pull all these leaves, maybe a bit less. And I'm just listening to all the little chicks that I've got at the moment, which is behind the camera. I got 9 chicks from my work. I think they are black Australorps. They could be a mix. I'm not sure whether they are hens or roosters at this point. They are only 4 weeks old, I want to say. They were born within the first week of March, and it is now the last week of March, so up to about 4 weeks old they are now. Yeah, so I was just listening to them, and they were getting their first sort of fresh air outside, and I wanted to be near them in case of birds attacking, or the cats that roam our garden. I didn't want them to come into our garden and attack them, and I have a injured or worse a deceased bird on my hands. I will be keeping 2 if they are hens, and then the rest I will be either giving away to family or friends, and the roosters I will be taking to a local farm, like farm produce store, and they will hopefully credit me, and then I can then get some chicken food for all my hens. So it will be a bit of a trade-off. Um, Not sure how many of each I will have, but it's a great experience looking after the chicks anyway. It's a lot of work to clean the cage out and whatnot, but it's still very, very enjoyable. I open the cage every night after work, and they all jump out onto the top of the cage, and then they all uh, start climbing all over me, and you can pat them quite easily. They're quite tame. They don't want to, harm you in any way. They are only little chicks at this stage, but they do have a sharp beak if they do get the wrong part of your arm or leg or whatever. It does hurt, but it's still all a great experience. I did that last year, and that's how I ended up with 3 out of the 4 of my original chickens. Last year was from a henny penny hatching program. So here I am opening up the air dryer net that I got from Temu, and then I will layer the dried like sage that I just washed, and it's gonna dehydrate and dry further, and we will see what this is like. I have tried to do some chamomile flowers in here. There wasn't very many flowers for me to dry, so that sort of experiment failed, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done a video on that, because there wasn't too many flowers for me to end up preserving in a great amount. But I did get a couple of cups of chamomile tea out of it, and it's just to help you chill out at night and sleep better. It's quite a nice floral taste. I don't know if you've had it before. I just use the hot water, nothing else, no sugar, no nothing. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.